So for this second part, I just grabbed my folk guitar. You can do exactly everything I'm going to do with an electric guitar or a classical guitar if you want. It works the same way. I'm going to jump in right now and show you what a tablature looks like. And as you can see, there are 6 horizontal lines. And if you're just a little bit observant, you might have noticed there are 6 strings on your guitar. Coincidence? I think not, because each line will represent a string on your guitar. But there's a twist, because the top line of your tablature is actually the bottom string of your guitar. And the bottom line of the tablature is the top string of your guitar. This is very, very important to remember, because if you read it wrong, you will play it wrong too. On those lines, you will see numbers written. And the numbers are read from left to right, just like you read pretty much any book. But there is right now something very important I have to say. If there is a number written on a line, that means you will play the corresponding string. But if there is nothing written on a line, you don't play that string at all. You pretend it doesn't even exist. And don't worry, the strings on your guitar are not like your girlfriend. If you pretend they don't exist, they won't get mad. This is very important, even if you don't realize it or if you think this is obvious, because many beginners make the mistake of playing stuff when there is nothing written on specific lines. But now you're probably going to ask yourself, what does those numbers mean? Well, it will show you exactly where you're supposed to place your left hand or your left hand fingers. For example, if I have the number 3 on a line, let's say the second line from the top, so that's the second string here, that means I'm going to play the 3rd fret on this string. And what is a fret, you might ask? Well, it's these little metal bars that are all the way along the neck. This one is the first one, the second one, and the 3rd one. So with a 3 on the second string, I have to place a finger of my left hand, pretty much anyone will do, and put it right next to the 3rd fret, so 1, 2, 3, on the second string. You have to put it right next to it. You don't want to put it on top of it, you don't want to put it after it, and you don't want to put it too far from the fret. Really just sit in right next to it. And once you press down your finger on this place, you can just pick the string with your finger or a pick if you have one, and it will play the note that is written on the tablature. It's that easy. So if I take another example, let's say I'm gonna say the fret number 5 on the string number 4. I'm gonna end up here. 4th string, 2, 3, 4, and 5th fret, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here we go. I just play the note that is written right now. You might have noticed that sometimes you will see the number 0 on a line. Let's say I put a number 0 on the bottom line, so that's the top string here. I can't really play the number 0 here. I have a 1st fret, but I don't have a 0th fret. But what I can do is play the string without touching it on my left hand. This is called playing an open string, and it's something we do very, very often. So basically, that's the gist of it. You have the numbers that correspond to each fret on your neck, and the number 0, which is an open string. You just need to place your fingers on the correct fret and the correct string and play that string with your right hand. If you've already looked at some tablature on the internet, you might have found other symbols, letters like H, P, X, S, or other symbols even, parentheses, slash, or stuff like this. And I'm not going to talk about them right now because those are guitar techniques a little more advanced than beginner techniques. You will learn them later on. What I can tell you right now is that if you want to play something with those kind of annotation on it, you can just ignore them at first. They won't change the notes you're supposed to play. They will just change the way you're going to play them. So you don't have to worry about that right now. Just ignore the S, H, P and just play the numbers that are written and you will have pretty much the same thing. Another thing you might have noticed on some tablature is sometimes numbers are stacked up on top of each other like this. That means it's what we call a chord. It's not always a chord, but let's say it is. And basically you have to put multiple fingers on multiple frets on multiple strings and play them all together. This can be very complicated depending on the chord. So once again, we're not going to talk about it right now, but this is basically how it reads. Numbers stack on each other, and then you play them all together. So that's it. It's basically all I have to say about how to read a guitar tab. Don't worry if at first you're a little lost. It takes practice to become fluent. Just go slowly, always check what fret and what string you're supposed to play, and everything will be all right. And if you want a little bit of practice, we're going to go to the third part right now, where we're going to learn a simplified version of Smoke on the Water in order for you to train yourself to read guitar tab and play your first tune.